Turn It On, the Level 42 fan podcast, is in no way affiliated with the band. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are solely the speaker's own.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Turn It On, the Level 42 fan podcast. We're here with our typical trio from here in the U.S., here to talk the time away with all things Level 42. I'm Bob Considine with Mr. Mikey Payne and Mr. Winston M. Walker, Windman with many faces and many names. Gentlemen, welcome. We have a brief side guest, my son Aiden Considine is here to talk about his love of Level 42. Go ahead, buddy.
What's up? My name's Aiden, and I like Level 42.
Oh, wow.
There you go. He was raised right. Nice to know.
All right, buddy. The check's in the mail.
It's his first time hearing me say that.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Is there anything you like?
Basketball.
No. I mean, from Level 42. Something about you, maybe?
That's it.
You've hung that song.
That's it, though.
Okay. All right.
Any other music you like?
Like hip hop and rap.
Yeah, makes sense.
Where did I go wrong? All right. Thanks for joining us, Aiden.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jake.
Take care, buddy.
Aiden.
All right. So how you doing, guys?
Good.
Great.
Good. Can't complain.
It's been a while.
It's been too long.
I know. I think this is the longest gap we've had.
Maybe.
Yeah. I forgot who you guys were.
What have you been listening to? Anything level related?
Honestly, the most, besides this album we're going to discuss,
Yes.
I listened to Changes too.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a minute. I've been on a weird kick, so that anything Level 42 related, that was it. Literally like a day or two ago, and then I started boning up on physical press.
Right. And what about you, Mikey? What are you listening to?
Well, I've been doing some stuff on 42 FM, which I'll talk about later. Some special mixes, and people have been loving it, and they've been asking me, why are you doing it, and wanted to hear the song in a different way.
Right.
But also, I've been getting a lot of messages from people who play the drums and the bass, and they love playing along with it. And then the keyboard people love to hear the keyboard part more pronounced. So that's been kind of a fun project.
See, are people like using the tracks for themselves, or
Play along videos,
Yep.
and usually they play along with the regular track. And since most of the tracks I've done on those special mixes kind of don't have the drums or the bass in it, for the most part, they're able to kind of slap away, or drum away, whatever they want to do to it. It's been interesting in just kind of a fun way, because we don't get much new material. So if you go back and listen to some of the albums, and you can hear some of the tunes in kind of a different way.
Yeah.
In fact, James White is his name. Messaged me and said he had listened to the Love Games version, and he said he loved it, and it made it sound like a real true ballad. He said it messed with his head, but he loved it. But other than that, Midnight came out with a new track. Again, I cannot remember the name, and a band called the Cannons. I've been listening to them, but I think they might be splitting up now, so I don't know. Someone can tell me in the comments. But that's all I've been listening to lately. There you go.
So I'll join Winston in. I'm also listening to Changes too, just because to me it's almost a summer album. It came out in July 2 years ago. Here we are in the summer again.
Wow.
And there's something about that album that I don't know how many shows we've spent on this album, but it's so amazing.
I can't believe it's been 2 years.
Yeah, it has. And don't forget, it took a long time for it to get out. There were kind of like songs being dropped before the full album came out.
Yeah, that's true.
And then one other thing I am listening to, there's a group, it's kind of a hardcore punk band called Turnstile. And they just came out with a song called Seeing Stars, which is as much of a Police homage you are ever going to hear in a recording. It's very reminiscent of When the World is Running Down by the Police. Bass line similar, guitar similar, but it's its own thing too. And I love that song. I can't stop listening to it. Give it a listen.
I will. I also forgot to say I've also been watching a lot of Winston's YouTube page. What is it? What's the name of your page on YouTube?
Probably just my name.
Windman
42.
Windman 42 on YouTube. If you can find it, he's got some incredible videos up there, especially some of them in 4K that he's worked really hard on. And I finally had a chance to catch up and watch them, and they're excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. Win does a good job too. Both of you guys do a really good job with that stuff.
Thanks. We've got a bit of breaking news here. A new campaign has been started, and our Bob Considine has been really busy.
I have been.
Something about a campaign called America is Calling.
Yes.
Level 42 in 2026. Tell us all the details.
So, as you guys know, next year is the 40th anniversary of World Machine here in the U.S. Obviously, they're celebrating the 40-year anniversary in the UK and in Europe this year because it came out in '85. I have been of the mindset that if they're ever going to come here, they're probably going to need some kind of flag, some kind of hook to make it happen. And if they don't, that's okay. But I mean, rather than just kind of sit around and hope, I had embarked on creating a video to both show, the situation and also show the need and want and the desire for the band to come here in the United States. So worked on a video. It's about 6 minutes long. Had a little bit of help from Alan Hunter from MTV. And put out the video. And there was a press release to go out with it announcing that this was part of a campaign called America is Calling. And had a press release basically sent to reporters of all kinds, both of major publications, minor publications, and also, and more importantly, sent to promoters in the U.S., again, both large and small, in the hopes that it would just plant a seed somewhere. Because if nobody mentions it, nobody's going to know. So that was the whole goal. I don't know if anything will happen, but I also figured rather than just sitting around doing nothing, let's give it a shot, our best shot,
Have you heard any response from the band or anyone else?
Yeah, so the band, I definitely wanted them to see the video before I put it out, because the last thing I'd want to do is take on this effort and put it out publicly without Mark or Mike wanting to come to the U.S. That would be a disaster.
Yeah.
So I sent it to Mike Lindup first. He was very enthusiastic about it. And then I sent it to Mark, and he was equally enthusiastic about it. He's like, basically, go for it, Bob. He approved of it. And,
He called you
to
Bob?
me, the video is almost
He
like a
knows your
little.
name?
What's that?
So he called you Bob? He knows your name?
Yeah. The video is almost like a little 6-minute story in a way that it takes off from their last. They had a show in Cancun last year for an 80s show or whatever it was at the Sands, and Alan Hunter did the introduction. And then fast forward 2 months later, Alan Hunter's on Sirius XM saying, "Oh God, these guys were great, but." And they're touring in support of World Machine, but they're only doing it overseas. And so I use that as a jumping off point to tell the story of, well, maybe they can come here. So that was the whole thing. And then, it gets into a bunch of celebrity, I won't call them endorsements, but people of famous U.S. ilk who are fans of the band or enjoy something about you or something like that. Just to show some U.S. gravitas, I guess, in some way. And then you guys were kind enough to send yourself pictures holding America's Calling. And probably the longest editing was done in just taking clips, little photo clips, screenshots of all U.S. fans saying, please come to this city. Why won't you come to the U.S.? And honestly, I think I had 100 of them in the video, but I could have made a 10-minute video. There were just so many of them. So I think that showed the need and want, the desire for the band come for any promoter. So that was the goal,
Well, I know Winston, and I've seen it. It's an excellent video.
Thanks.
Bob, you did an amazing job, honestly.
Thanks, Mike.
On this video. It's if you haven't seen it, it's conveniently on 42 FM right now.
Thank you for hosting it there, Mike.
Oh, no worries. But hey, if you want Level 42 to come over to the United States in 2026, make sure you take that YouTube link and share it everywhere that is appropriate. Let's get them over here next year.
Yeah. And one thing I would add is, through the press release, we were able to see who was opening it. That's kind of a communications tool. And I was really happy to see all the major and minor promoters open it and read it or click on the video. You can even tell that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's
fantastic.
Again, I don't know if anything's going to happen, but it made me feel like it wasn't a wasted effort. That means a seed was somehow planted. Now, whether that seed lasted 10 seconds or it's something they're still thinking about, I have no idea.
That's a good idea. I mean, nothing happens if you don't do anything, that's for sure.
And, there are peers that are touring in the U.S. like now. I think Simple Minds is a band that's bigger here, no doubt about it. But they're enjoying a successful tour right now. And part of the selling point for them was 40th anniversary of a certain song, and they haven't been here in a long time. Another group like OMD, which I do think is equal to a Level 42 here. They had one hit, big song, don't get me wrong. But they're playing 10 dates in the U.S. by themselves. And so, you look up, well, who's the promoter for that tour? And you find that it's Another Planet Entertainment. You include them on the list. I was pleased to say they had the most opens out of all the promoters. So somebody go call up Another Planet Entertainment and say, you guys know you.
Saying that, Bob, here in Oklahoma City, I just saw where Andy Bell of Erasure is coming to the Tower Theater.
Right.
And, Oklahoma City is it's a small city, but it's a city.
Yeah.
But I was surprised to see him coming here.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a bunch of bands that are always part of, these reviews, these 80 reviews, and there'll be 3 or 4 bands. And maybe that is the way to get them here. I don't know. But it's better than nothing, I guess, is the way to say it.
Absolutely.
I don't know how you feel about that win. I'm sure you'd be, in 2010 was great because we had them to ourselves. But
I'm older now, so I don't. Back in the early days, I was like snobbish. Like, I love the band. I'm not going to go see them with Madonna. I don't feel that way anymore. I see them, wherever they play, or whatever. If they're on a tour with 5, 6 other bands, I don't care.
Yeah.
To see them live again is well worth it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing it up, Mikey, and thanks again for your support, both of you guys. I know you were, when I showed you guys first the video and you approved it, that was like that meant as much to me as Mark and Mike, honestly, because
Okay, you've been drinking.
no, because seriously, you guys are fans, and I was really worried you guys would be like, "Oh my God, are you guys kidding me? Are you kidding me, Bob? What are you doing with this video?"
Yeah, it's not a sycophantic video by any stretch.
Right.
No, it's fantastic.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
All right, enough about
Good
that.
stuff.
We have a double album to talk to about. That is our focus on our show today, and that is a physical presence. Let's make sure we clarify that. Mm-hmm. That's the 2-disc live album by Level 42, which was released 40 years ago this week. This month, as we record this, ironically enough. You talk about turnaround time. The shows that comprised a physical presence were recorded only in March 30th and March 31st and April 5th of that year. So they went from late March, early April, and had the album out in less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
Those shows were recorded at the kind of smallish suburban venues, the Hexagon in Reading, which is in the borough of Berkshire, the Coronet Woolwich in southeast London, and Gold Diggers at the now defunct club in Chippenham in Wiltshire. This was obviously, it was the first official live album released by the band. It reached number 28 on the UK charts. You guys want to guess how many weeks it stayed in the top 100? I love doing this with you guys.
10? I don't know. I'm guessing.
What do you think, Mikey?
20.
5.
Oh.
It contained the previously unreleased Follow Me, which was later remixed and issued as part of an EP. And the album's kind of a culmination of 5 years of incredible live playing. Really, they were on the brink of what would become the most commercial and successful period of their career, starting with the World Machine later that year. And, I think a lot of people think, and probably you guys do too, this is the album where one part stopped and another part began.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
It all changed.
Yeah. Let's talk about, I don't know if you want to go track by track or do you just want to talk about favorite moments? I'm going to hand it off because I've yapped enough, but like, Win, I know you're a big fan of this album and and you've been listening to it.
Yeah. I'd like to go track by track because it's almost like it's a live.
Yeah.
Well, it is a live show, duh. But you know what I mean? Instead of just running around. But for me, up until that point, I hadn't heard much live stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, whatever singles I was able to grab by 85, if that, they had live B tracks, I don't know. I know I got like a bootleg cassette from some record shop in London. I ordered through the mail, but I don't recall honestly if it was before that or after. But when I got Physical Presence, I was like, oh my God, like, it's one thing to hear a live track, but to hear a whole show.
Yeah.
And I remember, so 85, I was still in the military. I just separated from the military. I moved from Delaware to Gaithersburg, Maryland with my girlfriend. And I think I grabbed a copy of Melody Maker or something and saw the album had come out. I ordered it through the mail, where you literally you send a check or whatever,
right,
a money order or whatever it was.
Right. And
then, they'll send me this album. I got the album. So I got that album. I threw it on and was just blown away. So much to the part where I called my buddy Alandis, who was the bass player in the band. He was Road 42 fan, Mark King fan, and played him at least an hour of it over the phone.
Oh my God.
Wow. And this was everyone paid long distance rates, But yeah, it was this is crazy good. I was just blown away because some of the songs obviously I had not heard live.
Yep.
I liked all of the songs that I had heard up until that point. I don't recall I don't really recall how I felt about the new track, but obviously that was the weak link on the album on first listen because it's like, oh, what is this? I don't know
Yeah.
what this is.
Right.
This is cool, but oh my God, I love that album. I mean, I can listen to it anytime. It's kind of sequenced really well.
Yeah.
Definitely shows like I was thrown back by like, what's with all the whistles? Like, because like that's not something that I've ever experienced much in American concerts at that point.
Yeah.
People would chant certain things or whatever, but like the whistle thing, but
It was Julian Hall.
it's a great, yeah, he was at all of those shows, I'm sure. That's going to be in the comments, of course. A million people saying, I was at that show where they recorded that,
Yeah.
I wish I could say that, but that's it. But this album is stellar, good quality, basically shows how good this band was.
I agree.
Their tightness. And then, and you think too, it's like, this was all pre-sequencer. So everything's live.
Mm-hmm.
There's no loops. There's no, like I said, sequencing or anything. So it's just like a bunch of guys. They got two hands. This is what you get.
Or Mike Lindo sounded like he had four hands.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But there is a tape loop at the beginning of Almost There, which I guess is what we should start at, because it was like a hot water. The keyboard sequence leads into it. And for me, this album, when I think about the songs on them, they're usually, not all the time, but they're usually my favorite live versions of these songs are on this album. But like Almost There is my favorite version of Almost There. I like the way you wouldn't typically think that's a song they were going to start a concert with, and maybe they didn't. But it's good. It introduces the band.
I was surprised with the hot water riff at the beginning.
Yeah.
And maybe they did that because, maybe that song was hot at the time, but it obviously we'll get further into the discussion, but there is out there in the ether recordings of the 3 shows that were edited to make this album. And all of them do start with Almost There.
Okay.
So maybe whatever, shows that they were doing before and a little bit after these particular 3 shows, that seems like that's how they started the shows.
Yeah.
I
love Boone's guitar solo and Almost There.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look, he is amazing on this whole album. I mean, there's a couple at least 2 other songs where it's like, oh, these are like some of his best solos.
Yeah. Foundation and Empire. The end of that.
I, 2 episodes ago, we discussed the 40th anniversary of the World Machine album, at least as far as the UK is concerned. And I've noticed, and I'm sure everyone on Facebook's noticed, we're all a certain age. Some great albums are starting to turn 40. Mm-hmm. So this period now, for me personally, between now and about 2027, I'm going to start feeling really old.
Yeah.
And again, this is the 40th kind of anniversary of this album that we're discussing today. For me, at the time that I heard it, the first live song I ever heard from Level 42 was the version of Hot Water as a B-side. So then I obviously found out that was off the album, which I didn't know about. And I remember buying I think it was 2 cassettes.
It
was the release. And I'd been to a few concerts before that because I was still, 14, 15, I guess then. What stuck out to me was how did they recreate these songs in a live setting? I was like, I'd never really heard that kind of caliber of live performance before.
So smooth.
And for me, I was like, you know, the bass is obviously a lot more funky in the live gigs. And, you know, you realize how much Mark had to hold back on playing on the albums when he's playing these tunes live. So for me, it was just like, holy cow, holy grail. That it just sounded amazing. And one quickly, I did an unfiltered version of these tunes, and just to listen to the musicality was just incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. The caliber of the recording itself, how they made it.
I was just going to say
brilliant.
that. Like, I recall a quote from Gary Husband, Phil Gould's replacement in Level 42, where he was talking about this album, and he said it was the best recorded drums he's ever heard on any live album he's ever heard. You think about how many live shows that guy knows, and the depths of, you know, really muso bands, and that he said that was the best drum sound. And then there was a guy, another drummer, who his name's Jeff Holroyd, and he's like a session drummer in the UK, particularly in the late 90s. And I pulled this quote because I thought it was very telling. He goes, and this guy's like a hard rock kind of metal dude. He said, there was the live album of Physical Presence, which I bought a few years later. This is when he was a kid. The chemistry that band had was right up there with Zeppelin and Cream. It wasn't just about any one individual. It was about the way they threw it down together. So here's a rock guy comparing Level 42 to Zeppelin and Cream based on their chemistry. So
Wow.
One thing I remember when I heard, because I had heard Almost There live, but on this version where I think the song ends, and it doesn't. Like that was like, oh shit, they're still going. You know, like I could hear I hear Phil hitting the sticks, and then they kick back in. I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you had Turn It On.
That was my song. Well, it still is. But I mean, that was the one, like I said, told the story a million times. I flipped over Star Child, heard Turn It On, like, oh, I got to get more stuff by these guys. But yeah, that I really, really, really love that version. And I think, is that the song where Mark says, tells the crowd that they're making a record, they're recording?
Yes. I said you're on record.
So my buddy Alandis, he used to always say that and do an English accent. We're making a record, because we would always jam in the rec center on the bass, and I would always record, just so we could have, later we could listen back to it. He would always say that with an English accent. We're making a record. And then I was looking, as I was listening to it, I said, I still haven't finished reading that on-track book by Matt Phillips.
I have it right here, actually. Yeah.
So, I said, well, let me go through it, look to see what he says about this album. And for Turn It On, he mentions that a certain part, like maybe like the 4-minute mark or something, there's a little bass riff that Mark plays, which it's not in the song, but he's like, oh, that's the bass line from The Ghetto by Donny Hathaway.
Yep.
Which it is. And I've heard that song, but, I haven't heard that song in 20 odd years at least. And I wouldn't recognize the bass line if you slapped me in the face with it. But then I said, well, let me look up the song. I'm like, sure enough, that little groove that he plays, that's the bass line from the song The Ghetto.
And in the Turn It On tune, when they asked the audience to sing, if you listen to the bass line, it's the Forever Now bass line.
That I did not know.
I did not know.
Yep. I won't do it in justice, but yeah.
That's always a turn on for me when I hear bands live and they get the crowd to sing.
Yeah.
And the crowd, and they actually do it, because I can't imagine a greater feeling as a band on stage where you play a song that the audience knows and likes, and they just start singing,
And you think about the timing of the band at this point. Like, they'd already established themselves as, a huge live band. They had this following. And, I would imagine, I wasn't there, obviously, but like people kind of like, they were rooting them on at this point. They wanted to be supportive, And then we went into Mr. Pink, which we always talk about the intro to that, in that I think Mark plays in a different key, the opening bass riff, before he gets into its regular key, which is kind of weird. Nobody's been able to explain if that's like a slowing down of the recording or if that's just the way he played it. But that was played at the Coronet, apparently.
Yes. Yeah. So Almost There was Gold Diggers. Turn It On was Hexagon.
Right.
This was Coronet. Yeah. So it's like a, they're just going back and forth. I guess, obviously what bands would do it, pick the best version or whatever. But I remember being in London one time, walking around one night, and I walked past the Coronet, and it was like the sign was lit up with neon. And I have pictures that I took of it.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, like that's awesome. Like people are like, well, why? Why is that awesome? Like, yeah, you wouldn't understand. Like, I just read about this place on an album that I love, and it's like, there it is.
Yeah, I've been to the Reading Hexagon, but it was in 2016, and it was the first time Level had come back since.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, since they had recorded that. But I think Mr. Pink was one of those tracks that perhaps most Americans maybe didn't know because it wasn't on the early tapes, right?
Yeah.
So they, who knows if they had the early tapes at that point.
Yeah.
But I remember that along with Follow Me as being two songs that I didn't know. But this is 40 years ago, so I'm trying to remember that far back. But
and this used to be my favorite live version of Mr. Pink, but I think it's been supplanted by 2006. There's a video, like for whatever video they put out of Mr. Pink and his Gary husband, and it is lightning fast. I mean, and just tight as can be. But this is a great one too. Like the trade-offs between Mark and Phil with the drums and the bass. This is like, if anybody wants to hear a great rhythm section and you want to introduce them, you play them this album because they trade off each other so well. Like this is like historically a great rhythm section at their peak, Mm-hmm. And then you go Eyes Water Falling, which is hysterical. If this is true, this is Matt Phillips from On Track, Level 42, as Winston mentioned in his book. He is the one that calls out that the first verse is recorded at the Hexagon. And then there's a subtle edit at 134 that switches to Gold Diggers, which is 6 days later. And that's where the song finishes.
Wow.
I don't know if I believe that.
It's hard to believe.
What? Because the thing is, I'm wondering if, it's funny because I had this conversation with Simon Carson.
Yeah, we did it together.
And I talked to him literally 2 days ago.
Right. Okay.
Because when I started reading the book, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, first of all, because this book is very detailed.
Yeah, it is.
So like I said, I haven't finished it yet, but if you can if you can go on Amazon or wherever you get your books, if you're a fan, I think you're going to love this book because it has a lot of information that you may not know, but it's very specific as far as what parts may have been overdubbed or they had to fix or these edits. And like Simon was thinking, well, maybe he's just listening to the 3 sort of full gigs that are out there and comparing them that way because because at first I'm thinking, well, who told him that? Oh yeah, the first minute and 43 seconds or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's very random.
Is this gig and then the other one? But to think about it, I'm guessing that's what he did, and God bless him if he did, because that's a lot of detail to go back and forth. Like, yep, that,
Well,
but
he's
obviously
clearly a fan.
it could be done, because now that I'm thinking about it, you could just put all 3 versions of this track in your computer program of choice and listen and see. But yeah, that's very exacting work.
I remember bringing that point up. This is what I was thinking. It wasn't Simon. It was Stuart Clayton we had on.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned that it was, I don't know if I pointed out that it was Eyes Water Falling or a different song, but when I mentioned that it took 2 different parts of 2 different concerts, he's like, boy, that seems really unlikely, because you're never going to be the same exact tempo night after night,
Right. It didn't even occur to me. I mean, I guess they like the $6 Million Man. We have the technology. I guess they could have, people have been slowing down tapes forever, but it's not like Pro Tools where it's like, well, there goes the pitch, right? The tuning. So if you're slowing things down and speeding them up, but it also begs the question, okay, well, why was the first part of this song good, and then, the first part of the second verse wasn't good, and the end of the first part wasn't, like, why the mismatch there? But it could just be a technical issue.
Maybe, yeah, like maybe the
recording just didn't work
version,
out.
Or Gremlin Buzz or something on the track,
Yeah.
And just on the whole doctoring thing, all live albums have a little help, right? They all have sweeteners, but they did say, particularly on Eyes Water Falling, that Mark re-recorded and overdubbed some of the verse vocals, and the entire bass performance was also re-recorded in the studio.
So knowing that maybe that's what happened. Maybe something happened with the bass, and he had to do that, and well, hell, we'll just pick the best parts. I don't know. It's obviously a question for the band members. But I love the guitar parts that Boone plays on this song.
Mm-hmm.
Just that sort of angelic opening parts. Like I've always loved that.
Boone is very atmospheric as a player, I think, and
incredible. Yeah, mesmerizing. Yeah,
and this one was hexagon as well.
Ah, okay.
So like,
for what?
No. But where it was recorded.
Oh,
Eyes Water Falling.
Yeah, I thought it said.
I made notes, but I
it started at Hexagon, but then it switched to Gold Diggers.
Okay. So it's both.
It's funny, as we talked about, like, whatever enhancements are done after. Sometimes you don't want to know. Like, I love the idea that when I hear Eyes Water Falling and that bass, the sound of it, I'm like, my God, how is this live? And one, why does it sound so great? And two, how does he do that and sing at the same time?
Actually, yeah.
I think it's as we've been talking about, it's not because you couldn't do it live. It's because some error, was, I think that's the difference. We know they can do this live in their sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mikey, you mentioned you had the 2 cassette version, right?
Yeah.
So that was my intro to this album too, which provided entree to a lot of older Level 42 songs I hadn't heard, because I heard the live versions first, and then I go back. But a great trivia question is, the original CD of this album omitted 3 tracks. What were the 3 tracks?
Oh, that's right. Oh man, I used to know this.
I'm not even going to pretend that I know, because I had the album, so I never had the cassette. I got the CD though. I'm sorry.
Right. No,
Go ahead, Mikey. You said 88.
No, 88
correct.
was on the. Oh, 88 was correct. It ended with Love Games, didn't it?
I think it did, yeah.
Oh, that's criminal.
88, Mr. Pink.
Got us correct.
For the crime.
Look at you.
What was it?
Turn it on.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to sit here and whine
man.
if any tracks they took off, like, oh, not that one. But so I have a question.
Wow.
Because I never had the cassette. Could you buy the cassette separately? Like, if you only wanted. Okay. I was just curious about that.
Yeah.
Like I only want half of the concert, like,
Yeah.
or maybe if you were poor, you couldn't afford it. Like I'll get the second half of the show next month.
I tell you, I had the cassette and I still have it. And it just takes me back to my freshman year in college and just driving, around my college and having it in the tape deck.
Yep.
I think I only had first album I bought was Pursuit, and that was a cassette. And then I think I got a proper cassette of True Colors and a proper cassette of Running in the Family, because for whatever reason, record shop that I always went to, they got the cassette of Running in the Family first. But typically I was like an audio snob. I would not buy cassettes. It was always vinyl, and I'll make my own tape. And then because we've all had tape decks eat our tapes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I'll just make another one if that happens,
Yeah.
So then we go, we fade out side one and we flip over the album and we go to Kansas City Milkman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And for my part, this is probably the best version of the song for me, a live version. First of all, I love the live version, any live version better than the studio version. So there's just more energy.
Yeah,
I cornet song.
Yeah.
I feel exactly the same way. I would rather hear the live version of this song on this album.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Sonically, again, it's incredible, and so we talk about the lyrics too. Reading the lyrics, as I'm going to talk about in another tune in a minute. Those lyrics are very much relevant still.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that. But the message and the tune, it's one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah. I forgot that we got Chris Mack on this album. He plays very well on this track.
He does. He really
Some
does.
good solos on this album. He's always good though.
And subtle, but Boone's, he's using an Echoplex on his guitar. Really subtle, but again, talk about atmospherics. That's Boone.
That's the kind of the little licks that I equate with Boone.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I've heard of an Echoplex. I don't know what that does.
It echoes.
It echoes. But what's the plex part?
I don't know.
It sounds like the name of a German disco to me.
The plex.
Echoplex.
Yeah. So Kansas City Milkman is I will always like to hear that song
Me too.
live. Like that's one of the ones like just have that in the set.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
It always
It's
is,
like-
it feels like. I can't remember the
Yeah,
last
it's
time.
not a dancey tune. It's not a ballad. It's right in the middle, right in
Yep.
the pocket there.
Hear what
And
we
it-
say.
And it's, on this particular version, it's over 7 minutes long. Yet I don't tire of it,
Oh, here's something that bugged me in this book about this track. And it bugs me because I don't know what he's talking about. So it's like I feel like I need to call this guy on the phone somehow. Like,
I think we should just have him on.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, we really should.
Yeah, good idea.
So he says, Mark even finds time to include a little nod to Melly Mel's rap on Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five's 1982 hit, The Message.
Yes.
Which was a huge
Yeah.
song that kind of put rap on the map for people who didn't know what it was. But I don't understand that because there is no sort of rap sort of section in this song like there are in other songs. So I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
wonder,
sure.
if he's talking about Mark's sort of breakdown in the I read the papers,
Yeah.
every word.
That's not a.
No,
I don't think that could be construed as any kind of rap.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And
You got
Bob,
me
I
when
think
I'm-
you might have been the only thing I was thinking. I think when you were going was that little,
Yeah.
that sound that you make vocally.
Yep.
but that's not anywhere in the message that I can remember. Oh, I think I know what he's talking
Win
about.
just had a moment of clarity.
Live as it happens, folks.
Yeah, because at some part in the song, Mark goes, ha ha ha.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Oh,
That's what it is. Because Melly Mel said, ha ha ha. It's like a jungle sometimes. Oh my God. Okay, I get it. I get it now.
that was a beautiful moment, Win.
So Matt Phillips, you're a damn genius. You were right.
I think I feel a tear coming on again.
I literally was. I was reading this earlier today too, and I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, I don't get it. Oh my God. Okay.
You know, that could also be somebody having a hiccups too. It doesn't have to be the message, but or holding back a sneeze. You know, we don't know.
Right.
All right, so then Follow Me, new song, brand new composition. We love how Mark introduces it as the greatest thing
the best.
ever. Yes. And
It's smart.
I've always said this about the song for me, as I cannot believe how much stuff Mike Lindup is doing on this song. Mm-hmm. And the timing of what he's doing is an exact counterpoint. So,
yeah, little offbeat accents and
yeah,
it's great. I like my thing was when he said that about you're gonna pretend it's something. It's one thing to say that, but then to leave it in there on the live recording was like genius. Like, yeah, we're not pretending. It's like, hey, we're gonna let you. Because I've been to shows and they will say, oh yeah, we're recording this. Because obviously you want the crowd, that immediately engages the crowd.
right.
But it's just hilarious that, okay, this is a new song. We kind of get that people, you come to see a band, you're like, hey, I'm not trying to hear no new stuff. I want to hear the stuff I know and love. And so he throws that out there and then it gets left in and it's like the best thing ever. That little bit like, yeah, you guys got to pretend you love this.
Yeah, and it's a jamming song.
It is.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard the demo version of it, and of course it sounds like a demo.
Yeah.
But the live version just takes it to a whole other place.
This song has not sustained for me. Like, I used to love it, and now I just like it. I don't know. I don't know why. But it's not something I've thought, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard, as Mark said.
All right. Well, I never thought that, but I like it. I like it more than because they edited and did some stuff to put it sort of as a single, quote unquote, on the EP that they released.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't really, adding the echo and all that kind of stuff. It didn't really do anything for me for the song. And I like the lyrics on the song too. But what was it? The EP, what were the songs that were on that? Obviously.
Oh, I don't have that, but I saw it earlier.
Oh yeah, it was Follow Me, Mr. Pink,
Mr. Pink,
Milkman from Kansas City, and Turn It On.
Right. Very good.
I did not know that.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So I wasn't a fan of the remix sort of thing on the EP. But I still like this. I mean, I like the song, but again, it was never a love thing. It's not like, oh my God, this is, this is sort of amazing.
You think about the counterpoint I'm talking about. I'm picturing Mike Lindup singing background on Follow Me. And on the left hand, he's doing dun, 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 dun. And on the right hand, he's like, dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
I'm like, come on, man. We talk about Mark having a dexterity. Like,
Yeah.
That's sick. What he's, I mean, that's rubbing his stomach, patting his head, and itching his foot at the same time.
Itching his foot.
You're talking about the remix there. I wonder if they did that remix of Follow Me because of the Mark's introduction of it on the EP. They didn't want to have that, perhaps, and maybe that's why they did a remix of that tune instead of the other three. I don't know.
Well, it's a lot of things. I mean, were they asked to play something new for the show? That could go on this live.
Maybe.
And
I
then
think that's what Mike said.
Right, and I kind of get it to like, okay, well, we'll put it on this because basically the EP, you're just if they didn't do that, it's just okay, we're just culling 4 songs from this album and making a cheaper version of it, kind of thing, like so. I guess record companies do what they do.
Well, yeah, and you want to give something new on a
right.
So like Genesis 3 Sides Live, they had a 4th side that was all studio.
It wasn't live? So only 3. I get it. It's a great album.
But like, Paper Late, I think, was the single off that album because they did a studio version.
And nobody cares.
Nobody cares. And then the first disc wraps up with Foundation and Empire, which is...
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good to have
and you get the whole song on this one, too.
I know. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Unlike that bootleg.
Right. So the White Funky, I can't remember if they cut it or faded.
Crime against nature. They took a freaking 12-minute song and cut it to like 2.5.
Yeah.
Oh. For me, it's one of my favorite live instrumentals ever.
Me too.
Probably top 3 for me.
Really?
Yeah, top 3.
It is amazing. It's not the best one on this album, but it's amazing. It's a great song. It's a great rendition. I mean, because to me, that's like this is what this band was about.
Yep.
Wow, just amazing musicianship, good song, and we can do this live.
And they really do feed into their influences on that song. I think the Stanley Clarke thing, I think the Return to Forever thing is there. What I love about this, what always sticks out to me is Phil Gould's, during the sax solo at the end, his hi-hat footwork is just blazing. You got to listen real close, but it is fast. I'm like, how is he doing that? It's like the fastest I think I've ever heard him.
You got your scat vocals, which I wasn't listening to any other bands that were doing that at the time. Because for me, this was Love 42 was the gateway to fusion for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was like I wasn't hearing other bands yet that were doing that, because for me, like scat was like, oh, my dad used to listen to these old jazz records. That's old people's music, where people are just wordlessly singing.
Yeah. But they seem to have vocal sounds in most of their instrumentals, if you think about it. Foundation and Empire, I think 88 had them, right?
Yep.
Mr. Pink did not. Now I'm just...
Yeah, that was just music. Instruments, rather.
Yeah. So maybe not.
And this Boone's guitar solo is awesome.
Oh, epic.
He had like an octavizer, I think what they call it, at the end for his solo.
Tell us what that does.
It basically plays whatever he's playing an octave.
Oh, it adds an octave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Who would have known that it would do that with the name the octavizer?
Well, to me, it sounds like you're saying octave, like octavider, like it's dividing.
Visor. What do they call
Visor.
it?
Okay.
I think it's called something else, but
I don't know nothing about no guitar stuff.
Yeah, and again, Chris Mack's sax work in that exquisite too.
Guys, go listen to Phil Gould's hi-hat when it really start cranking at the end during Chris Mack's solo.
Okay.
All right.
Hold
on. We'll be right back, folks.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like...
That's crazy.
So then we go to the second disc, and now I'm going off memory here. So I think it's The Chant Has Begun.
Chant.
The Spirit of the People.
And I like this live version.
Yeah.
Shocking. Not a favorite song of mine, but
Mine
this
either.
live, this
Yeah.
I do like this.
I remember you guys saying that. Yeah.
And the sax solo, I'm just jumping on the Chris Mack train again, but the sax solo is great. It's great on the song and live.
Yeah. Love the tune. Love the lyrics of it. Still relevant today. Again, I prefer to listen to this live version of Chant Has Begun,
Yeah.
maybe to the album version. And it was really cool to see it and hear it live in person for the first time when I saw it. I think it was the Eternity Tour in 2018. And especially there towards the end, just watching Mark just thrash the hell out of the bass on it. It was one of those sonic moments. I just kind of closed my eyes and was like, wow, I'm hearing this actually in person. And it was incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Wembley version's good too. But,
It is.
Physical presence version's, I think, far better. But that's just my opinion.
My favorite part of the Chant Has Begun is the video where there's a guy playing a saxophone with no shirt and a gun strapped to his waist. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Mack.
Oh, poor, awful video.
That's people don't know, but that guy in the video is the brother of the guy from the Lost Boys film.
Oh, is that right?
That sax player. You remember
Are you
that?
kidding?
Yeah, I'm kidding. just two guys playing sax without shirts on.
I never saw the Lost Boys, so
Oh my goodness. Yes,
that's a whole
but
other
people
podcast.
will always remember that scene because they're at the Santa Monica Pier or something, and there's a band playing. This guy's like, looks like a weightlifter guy, all oiled up and sweaty, and playing a saxophone with no shirt on.
Right,
You
right.
got to see it, if for no other reason. Your son might like the movie too. It's a good vampire movie.
if so, you just took me to Top Gun a little bit. The volleyball scene,
Oh, right.
playing
right,
with the boys. Not a favorite of mine, but
Not that scene.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
makes you feel weird, huh?
a little bit. I feel weird typically anyway. It doesn't matter. Then next is the Chinese Way,
Yes, indeed.
and the Bible, according to Matt Phillips, is Mark's E string is out of tune on this.
Yes, I noticed that first time I heard this album.
I never
And
noticed.
if you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. No, I had no idea.
To me, this isn't my favorite version of the Chinese Way. It's not one of my favorite songs, but I'm not going to turn it off.
When I was doing the filtering just to hear the instrumental version of it, I was listening to it, and for a brief second, I forgot I was actually listening to the live version of it. I thought I was listening to the album version for a quick second, because it was one of those tunes that almost sounded exactly like the album,
Right.
which almost all these tunes on this album do. But that one in particular was as close to the vinyl as possible.
Yeah, this is a song that I always liked, but it's definitely a better live song, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it surprised me when I started hearing this album and then other live albums, like how much of a crowd pleaser that song was.
It surprises me too because
Right. It's like, it's one of those things like, really? That's the one you got? You really like that song? And I really like the song. I mean, I like it way more live, because there's a lot of stuff going on there, but
yeah.
that's got a lot of energy.
Do I remember right when? Because I think I said it too in a previous podcast. I really liked the New York dub version of that.
Yeah. That has that little synth part in the beginning. I love.
Oh, yeah.
And the bass line, it's just, to me, that's like just a nice finger bass line.
Yeah. I do giggle though hearing the live version of Chinese Way when Mark doesn't sing certain lyrics. I hear it in my head still. So, but yeah, he didn't do it at this gig. But yeah. There
All
you
right.
go.
I was just running through my head like, oh yeah, I remember those naughty parts. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Aiden does not get to hear them at all.
No.
He's got his own stuff. The rap music has
God.
more interesting lyrics.
Yeah, it does. I cringe every day.
So I'm just looking. I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, we got what? Was it 13 songs? Yeah, I think 13 songs on this album.
On the album,
Yeah.
And 8 of them are Gold Diggers.
Okay.
But I didn't really pay attention to like if there were some like the other track was like half of this area we used,
Yeah.
But so it looks like maybe that was a.
It's funny because Gold Diggers
superior recording.
Gold Diggers was the last of the 3 recordings.
Right, that was the April one. So
right.
just a
And
little.
I think
little
I
something.
read even before they recorded those, they had done a week of shows in France to kind of gear up for the recording.
Oh, okay,
Which is interesting. I'd love to get some of those,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're probably out there. I never really thought about that. I was looking too. I was looking for because I was too lazy to pull out my CD box set. It's like, well, I basically rip everything to the computer, and then I was looking for those original recordings, and I'm like, I can't find them. I'm like, and if it's for whatever reason, I had them in my folder for 86 and not 85. So that drove me crazy for like 30 minutes. Like, did I delete these?
That's the worst.
I know. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see a grown man cry.
Yeah. They're gonna go up on 42 FM here pretty soon. Just probably track by track, not in full as I normally do because of the copyright issues sometimes. But so yeah. But the Chinese way is still a good. I mean, it's just one of those tunes that everyone's just like, oh, all right, yeah, okay, let's have fun.
Right.
It's definitely, yeah, it's interesting. I think that's one of the ones like Lolita was like, I don't like that song. I don't see why people like it. I'm like, I dig it live for sure.
From there, we go to The Sun Goes Down, Living It Up, 5-minute version. Again, at Gold Diggers. And I guess I never really noticed this, but
I did.
the fake feedback part.
But I always thought it was a whistle.
I always
thought it was like they
it
added
was real feedback.
I guess so. I guess because I think in the book he says there's like feedback added because I could tell. Yeah, they did that because you know what he says there.
Right.
But I thought obviously if someone just blew a whistle at that point, they're gonna probably want to remove it. But they left that in. I'm like, that's intentional. But it sounded like a whistle to me. But I guess it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another little naughty bit about I'm gonna blank her till the sun goes down.
Yeah.
The bass solo part in this version, I'm not crazy about. It's a little bit too muted for me, I guess, is a lack of a better term. But I do like the version.
I love the interplay at the end. After the audience is singing and stuff along with it again.
Yeah.
I like how they kind of break it down. Well, lately I love how they've added the sundown part into the song.
Me too.
But yeah, I particularly like the ending of the live version of Sun Goes Down here.
Yeah, they always did a good job of rearranging stuff because I've always been a concert goer that I don't want to hear the album.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to hear songs on the album, but I don't necessarily need to hear them the same exact arrangement on the album. Like do something different. So they always do a good job of that. Definitely.
And then
what was I going to say? Again, good Chris Mack solo.
Yeah. Chris is high on Chris Mack. I mean, Winston's high on Chris Mack.
Yeah. Edit that. We'll fix it in post.
And then after that, Hot Water.
Oh, yeah.
Again, another Gold Diggers version.
Okay, quickly.
Yep.
Was I wrong by saying there's no sequencing? Because
well, it's funny. I always thought there was, and then Lindup corrected me when we had him on about sequencing on a song, and he's like, "No, that was played live." No, it wasn't Mike Lindup. It was
Wally.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, but for this, I'm thinking, okay, because like I know when we were talking about the intro to Almost There, we were like, oh, tape loop.
Mm-hmm.
But I think obviously this has to be I would think it would be a sequencer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It sounds MIDI to me. I mean,
This part of it. Yeah, that at least that part.
This was the first live song, like I said, I ever heard from them. And
But this version?
yeah.
Okay.
Because it was a B-side on, I think it was Lessons in Love record 45 or
Oh, right.
I think it my memory is good. But I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Honestly, I remember listening it with my headset on my album, on my record player, and it was just, it was one of those moments when you hear something that's like, all right, I just want to know everything now. I want to hear it. I want to hear it all.
Right.
It was Hot Water had a lot to do with that for me.
Now, do you, because you heard it live first, do you like the studio version better than live?
I like the studio version, but I much prefer the live version, especially this version. If I listen to Hot Water live, it's usually this version that I listen to. It's just I think I said it when we talked about it before. There's so much energy coming off of that recording in this song that it just, at the age of 15, I guess at that point, it was just incredible. I remember that's also why no one else had heard it before. Why I was just hearing it. So, in my small world, then
my favorite live version of Hot Water, believe it or not, is the Live at Wembley video version. I love that version. Maybe because I just love watching it too, but I also love the master mix of Hot Water. And I prefer that over the record version.
Oh, okay, yeah. To me, I like the record, but I prefer it live.
And what about between the two, the World Machine version, US version, or the True Colors version?
What? No, World Machine version
probably the True Colors
doesn't exist
version.
in my dojo.
In my dojo.
Yeah,
I don't know where that came from, but I heard that somewhere.
I know where you heard that.
Is that Karate Kid?
It is Karate Kid.
Yeah. Okay.
Cobra Kai.
Oh yes.
Which, by the way, I just finished watching that series. We have to go offline about talking about that.
Oh, okay.
I saw like the first season and I stopped. Not because I didn't like it, but it's one of those things, you just start doing something else.
All right. Let's move on because we'll go down a rabbit hole you don't want to go.
Yeah.
And then now we go to the second side of the second album. Starts off with a really groovy bass solo into Love Games. Where do you guys rank the bass solo on this? In the lore of Level 42 live bass solos?
I think for me, Wembley's number one. Number two was it's the jam. It's a bass jam.
The Antwerp medley.
Antwerp, thank you. Yeah. The second one is the Antwerp melody. No, you haven't heard that, guys. You need to check that out too. And this, I think, bass solo would be third for me on a physical presence.
I rank this higher than Wembley. Wembley's a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a gadget.
Vegas.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like it's not really doing a lot musically. It's showing off kind of. You know what I mean?
I think the Live at Wembley one, what I like about it is that it builds. And he's doing some chord work, which is not always typical of him.
Right. Yeah. I like this one. I mean, this version of the song, they got Get a Dune tune thrown in.
Yep.
Obviously, the stuff from the Essential.
Yep.
I feel like Phil's bass and snare, it's just so simple on this song, but it sounds really good. It's like, I can't play drums, but I feel like, man, I could play that because that is just, what he's doing is just serving that song so well. And this is, to me, this is top 3 bass grooves of all time for Mark.
Oh yeah.
It's just funky as it can get.
Yeah.
That bass line.
It really is. I mean,
yeah. And then there's
it's funny because
go ahead.
It wasn't a huge hit, Love Games, but people know that song on the strength of the bass line.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they have marking sections in a book or in a magazine, a bass book or magazine, that's one of the ones they go right to.
It works in every setting too. Like when you see him do it, when he was doing the stuff with the orchestra, it was just him. It just a groove. And I, because I remember like one thing I remember like hearing a lot of this stuff live too, where he throws in these little licks that weren't on the recording. It's like what to stand out for me on this version. I think he sings, that part of the lyric halfway through the song was like, I believe I'm right.
Yeah.
And he throws in this really super fast bass lick,
Yeah.
Like, it was always like you're sitting there with a couple of people and you all look at each other like, damn, did he just do that?
Yep.
Yeah. It's amazing. And again, that version of Love Games Live is just solid. Solid.
Yeah. And again, this is to me like Boone's, that's his playing.
Yep.
Like just
Chugging.
funk.
Yep.
Period. Like I always hear people like, or younger people like, oh, that's funk. And I'm like, no, that's not funk. It could be funky. What Boone is playing on this kind of guitar, that's funk right there.
Yep.
Like he could be in James Brown's band with that.
And Matt Phillips also points out, and he's right, I think, you can hear Phil Gould singing a little bit on this, the things they feel inside, the things they really feel inside. There's like a high part above Mike Lindup, and that's Phil. There was no background singer at this point,
Right. Yeah. Because I was thinking too, I was like, okay, when I'm listening, I'm like, yeah, so we had the band there and, we got Chris. And I was like, oh, that's right. Annie's not there yet.
Yep.
Yeah. Just a few months before Annie came on board.
Yep.
Wow.
Good version, though.
Amazing.
And we talk about arrangement. They always did this, and I think they still do it, where after the solo, they break it down a little bit. They stop the drums, and then they get back into it. I always like how they do that. It's a nice approach.
Strip it down. Build it back up.
All right, so the last tune.
Come on, Bob, you can tell me.
Yes, that's the other line. Yes.
Coming in at a crisp 12 minutes and 54 seconds, 88. This is
Best song on the album.
I might agree with that, Wayne. I think it's amazing. Amazing display of how well they play together and as solo artists. And it grooves all the way through. It's an impressive piece of work. It's
good interplay.
Yep.
Arrangement is great. Freaking the solos are great, because there's solos, and then now we're going to introduce the band and do more solos.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is awesome. And it's like just a great closer for a show. and everybody gets to shine. And I mean, and then I think what I learned in the book, because there's that part at the end, and I think I sent you guys a clip of it, where Mark he's quoting this Mahavishnu song, orchestra song.
Yeah. You sent us the clip of that, right?
Yeah, and I never knew that was from that, because I've got a couple of their albums, but this was from a live album that I didn't have. Oddly enough, it was recorded in Central Park in New York.
Yeah.
And Billy Cobham on drums on that. I think Rick Laird on bass, who I've heard Mark talk about him. I think it's Rick Laird.
I think you're right.
But that is just a great part, and up until, a few days ago, I just assumed that's something that Mark made up, But that's awesome that little, I'm not going to attempt to sing it, but, towards the end, folks, if you listen to it, you'll hear a part in that song that's not in the original 88 version. Recorded version, studio version, I guess.
Yeah, this is one tune that I didn't much enjoy the album version of the single 88. I definitely love the live version of 88.
Oh, this is just killer.
I think one of the highlights.
I think too. I didn't mean to interrupt, Bob.
Okay.
I think because I heard 88 live first before I heard the album version. To be clear, so because the album version is a bit slower.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely slower. Yeah. So that's the point I think I was trying to make last time. I was like, did you like Hot Water more live? Because I heard this version before I heard. Is it the early tapes or is it? Or is this a piece 80? I don't remember. But yeah, it sounds really slow and not as not as funky as the studio version. But good God, this is such a great version of the song. Unbelievably good. And I really do like the bass solo on this too.
So before we wrap up this album, this great physical presence, because we don't want to say physical presence.
Yeah.
There were 3 songs kind of left on the cutting room floor.
Oh, I knew you were going to bring this up. Yeah.
No, there weren't. There were 4.
4?
4.
Okay. I have Kuyate, Are You Hearing? And I Want Eyes. What's the 4th?
Dune Tune.
Oh, okay.
There's recordings of Dune Tune and I think at least 2 of those shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we'll focus on Are You Hearing? Because Winston, I remember you introducing this to me at your house in Jersey City. And we were there and you were like, you got to hear this. And it was hysterical. I mean, basically what happens for folks who don't know is Mark forgot the lyrics of Are You Hearing What I Hear? And it was apparently the first time they'd played it in a while. And he kept restarting the song, and he still continued to forget the lyrics.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to me, the funniest moment about this is when Mark says, well, what's the first line? And Mike says, life is a game. Because at that point, it is a game, right?
Yeah.
Because I think he forgets the lyrics, starts singing the wrong lyrics, and he realizes it. Then he goes back and he sings it, and then he goes for the second verse and he sings the first verse again.
Right.
Yeah.
Something like that, And then finally, the best thing about it to me is he gets it right, the first verse right. The audience doesn't respond until he gets the second verse right. Then they all cheer.
Yeah.
It's like the old Bronx cheer, as they say. But yeah, that's that. I will never get tired of hearing that because it's just like, you know what? Not everyone gets it perfect every time.
Oh my God! It's the first time I ever saw him heard him make a mistake.
Yeah,
it's just like it's just. I mean, it's easy too to hear a lyrical mistake because that always bugged me. Like today, you see bands and they've got an iPad or something, that has the lyrics, right?
Yeah.
In case. But so much of the bands, back in the day, it's like there was no sheet of paper on the floor.
Mhm.
You just, you practiced the stuff and you had to have it. But obviously things could go wrong,
And give
And
credit to Mark. I don't think he's ever used a teleprompter. So many.
I've
artists
never
use
seen.
them.
Right, yeah,
And they're not his lyrics.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only time they've had to read them as they sing them is probably when they were recording the stuff, right? So once you practice and practice, you get on stage, it's like you just do it, and something could happen, and that's just a funny thing. And I would tell folks, that stuff's out there. There's basically 3 shows that this recording was culled from, and there's been bootlegs out there of all of these shows. So you can hear different versions. Not all the songs on these versions are the full song, but you can hear slightly different takes. And Dune Tune was performed at each of the 3 shows. It just didn't make it to any of the recordings, other than that bit of Dune Tune in the Love Games lead up. Right. So, but yeah, that Are You Hearing is just, it's gold. If you,
yeah. It's like,
go ahead.
no, please go ahead, Winston. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, we do put this recording out on all of the podcast formats, but we also have a YouTube channel where we put a video, and it'll have pictures, and we will have pictures of the albums. Obviously, I'll put pictures of the artwork of the fan created bootleg of all the shows, so you can see what was there, what wasn't, what songs were performed at what shows. And also, if you know the album artwork, there was a photographer, Simon Fowler, who did the photography that's on the cover, but they processed it, a design company. Right. Bob's holding it up now. But I have access to probably all of the photos that the album cover was taken from. So there's a lot of cool shots of the band in a studio.
Oh, cool.
So I'll put those on the video. So if you want to rewatch, play it on YouTube, you'll be able to see all of the photos and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's like Bob said when it came to Are You Hearing What I Hear? It's, he forgot the lyrics. They stopped the tune. He says stop. And then they start the song over. And instead of stopping, they just keep playing and keep trying to get it right. And finally, you kind of, because it's just audio, you can't see what he's doing. But they just kind of jammed with the song for a little bit and then go right into the beginning of the song again. It was incredible how they did that.
What I like about it, that part is Boone's doing some pretty cool stuff on a guitar.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. It's kind of like you want them to just keep doing what you're doing, keep playing that groove out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
because it's pretty much like drums and guitar at that point. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. And and I don't know if you guys heard it this way, but you listen to that track and they start doing some solos and it looks like they kind of threw in some extra sugar at the end of the tune to kind of make up for the slow start. But yeah, that's all. I hear that at least once a month. And I
thought of today was when I was listening to it. Was it today or last night? I think was if you were at that show, how many people realized as soon as you start, like, that's not the words. You know what I mean? Like, is there someone in the audience like frantically waving their arms over their heads, like, bro, you got the wrong words,
Julian did.
Yeah, we're going to see comments of who was there. And I guarantee you there were people at these shows.
I'm sure.
Obviously we can hear them, but, people that we know,
Yeah.
I remember watching, because I got the Live at Wembley Laserdisc from Japan. And then like less than a month later, it was like released in the US for $20, And I paid $100 to import it from Japan. But I remember watching that. And then after I had went over for shows, I come back and I watch it. I met a lot of UK fans and I'm watching Live at Wembley and I'm like, holy crap, I see people I know now in the audience at that show.
Yeah.
They were like right in the front,
Yeah. Wow.
Well, it's, just in closing, I think this is an incredible piece of work, a physical presence. And to think about, they recorded it and in 2 months they did whatever fixes they had and had it out is just extraordinary.
Yeah, I would give credit because it says Greg Jackman produced and mixed it,
Yep.
and with the band. And the other thing I think, and I think this might have been brought up in the book as well, that is the last time I believe that original lineup played 88.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the Isle of Wight was the next time that they actually played it. Remember, because they played it there at one of the shows, and I don't think that didn't make the DVD, but
Right.
there's video out there. So I mean, obviously some other more scholarly fans would know, like, oh yeah, they actually played this in 20 whatever. But yeah, that's the last time that the original lineup played 88.
Yeah.
And it's like you guys said too, this, well, one, having a live album from this band is just as great as getting a regular album from Level 42 in the
Well
day.
said, yeah.
And what a unique, and only in hindsight, what a unique period. And I think, Bob, you said it earlier, of this was right on the cusp of them just exploding all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's my friend Linda Beardsley's favorite album. She probably listens to it once a week. And I think it would be a good, instead of, I hear friends of ours sometimes, what album should I play for someone who's never heard Level 42? I'm almost wondering if it should be this album as the first thing you might want to play for somebody, just to establish what talent.
I can give you a story that why that's
Not a good idea?
no, it is a good idea because I was in college, just going to William Patterson College, which had a jazz department that was like world renowned, like right next to Berkeley. And there was a kid in my dorm who was like just an amazing muso dude, but he was totally into heavy metal and stuff like that. And he heard this album being played in my dorm. I guess the door was open a crack, and he just stuck his head in. I didn't even know him. And he's like, "Who is that?"
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, I always remember that. That was the album that was playing when that happened.
Wow. Well,
Praise.
if you guys in the audience haven't listened to it recently, get it out, dust it off, get the new versions that just came out with Simon and Paul had to the remastered one.
Yep.
And give it a listen again. I think you'll find that you'll love it just as much as you did when you heard it the first time.
Well said. Guys, great talking to you again. I'm going to go listen to this right now. I'm not going to go to sleep at all. I'm just going to listen. Being it's 1 a.m. here. Just going to listen to the album. But thanks, guys. Good show. We'll see you soon. We'll get on the next episode. And that's it. So, for Winston Walker and Mikey Payne, I'm Bob Considine. We're leaving you now, but we'll wait till you return. See you next time, everybody. And happy set.
Bye. Good night. Bye.
Goodbye.
Who's got a nice balloon then? Oh, wait, wrong one.
Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.